Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of Kabir Considers. In this video, I'm going to react to the top 10 underrated US destinations. Now, this should be an interesting one because we all know what the big ones are. Florida, for Disneyland and Universal, Los Angeles, New York, Texas as well. But what are the places that aren't really spoken of, when we're compiling these types of lists? And it's something that I'm interested in myself because later this year, I'm planning on doing a multi-state tour of the US. So I'd love to know some hidden gems, places that aren't really full of tourists, rammed with tourists that I can go to. So yeah, this should be an interesting one. So let's do it.
Welcome to Mojo Travels, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 underrated US destinations 2021.
Okay.
Are you a fan of our videos? Be sure to subscribe to Mojo Travels and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos. For this list, we're looking at locations across America that don't get quite as much tourism as they should. Number 10. Kashikatui Tent Rocks National Monument, New Mexico. New Mexico itself is
Wow, look at these sort of pyramid type structures.
an underrated vacation destination. Whether you're staying for an extended period or passing through on a road trip, Kashikatui needs to be on your radar. Translating to White Cliffs, Kashikatui is distinguished by its unique geology, which is derived from volcanic eruptions. Through erosion and weathering, the surrounding area eventually developed light-colored, cone-shaped formations that stand out in more ways than one. The monument provides an alluring backdrop for hiking, birdwatching, and creating Instagrammable memories. Although Kashikatui
It does look literally like a screensaver. It really does. It wouldn't surprise me if one of my screensavers is this.
It doesn't get as much attention as some other rock formations. At least this means the site is rarely crowded. Number 9. Knott's Berry Farm, California. California is amusement park central, but in recent years, Knott's Berry Farm has lived in the shadow of Disneyland and Universal Studios. Knott's Berry Farm actually predates its main competitors, branding itself as America's first theme park.
No way.
While it doesn't have as many iconic
Man, I love these ones, but when you get to the top, I just shit myself, man. I'm like, oh my god!
attractions, the park does offer a wide variety of roller coasters, family-friendly dark rides, and water rides. The highlight is arguably Timber Mountain Log Ride, which has been a staple since 1969. While Knott's Berry Farm provides year-round fun, we'd recommend visiting in October when the park is transformed into Knott's Scary Farm. With the 2020s marking its 100th anniversary, amusement park junkies should definitely book a trip, especially if you're also a Snoopy fan. Who isn't? Number 8. Alaska National Parks, Alaska. When people think of
Yeah, now this is one that I'd love to explore. Alaska in my mind is like this mythical place. It's almost like Narnia, just full of snow and mountains and cool things to see.
national parks, green grass, tall trees, and babbling brooks come to mind. When they think of Alaska, it's hard for some to picture anything other than blizzards. As such, tourists don't always put Alaska and national parks together. They're missing out, however, on some of America's most naturally beautiful destinations. Denali National Park offers an ideal balance with snowy mountains up high and the taiga forest below. If you're visiting for the wildlife, you can count on spotting a brown bear trying to catch sockeye salmon at Katmai National Park. Since Alaska is famous for its icy landmarks,
I mean, running into a bear would probably worry me. Are they quite chilled out, or do you have to carry some bear spray just in case?
be sure to check out the glaciers at Kenai Fjords. It's not all ice either, as sand dunes await at Kobuk Valley.
What?
Number 7. The Oregon Coast, Oregon. If life is a highway, then you can live it to the fullest on the Oregon coast. When it comes to travel, driving is the activity that most of us look forward to the least. This isn't at all the case when you're driving across the US Route 101 in Oregon. Visitors are treated to 363 miles of coastline views. It takes about 8 hours to drive, though.
That is a pretty bridge. I like that. I like the way it's kind of irregular. It's going down, down, up, down, down.
But the various pit stops will motivate travelers to take their time. On your road trip, pull over to explore Cannon Beach, Lincoln City, Newport, and other scenic vistas. After all, it's not about the destination, it's about the journey, right? On the Oregon coast, though, the journey and the destination are one and the same.
Nice.
Number 6. Governor's Island, New York.
New York?
New York has so many iconic destinations that a few are bound to go overlooked. Governor's Island might not get as much attention as Staten Island or Long Island, but that's part of its appeal. For those who want to escape the hustle and bustle of the big city, this New York Harbor Island provides a refreshing escape. Of course, you can still get incredible views of several neighboring New York landmarks, including the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah, it's crazy because New York, when I think of New York, I think of, Statue of Liberty, Empire State Building, the park. What is the park called? Green Park? Central Park. But as an actual place to visit for like a couple of weeks, I probably wouldn't pick New York. I think I'd probably, maybe 3 or 4 days would be enough to see most of New York. Like, what do you guys think?
Liberty and Manhattan skyline. However, you can also take in the local sites, such as Fort Jay and Castle Williams. The island's 52 landmark buildings are shrouded in American history, and the public park offers a quaint charm you won't find in Central Park. Hop aboard a ferry already. Number 5. Joshua Tree National
Look
Park,
at that.
California. Yosemite is the most visited national park in California, but it's far from the Golden State's only spot for nature lovers. If Yosemite is like a blockbuster, then Joshua Tree National Park would be an experimental art house picture. It's a strange wildness that doesn't fit
This is beautiful. Look at this shot right here. The colors in the sky, these weird trees. They're kind of like palm trees, but kind of not.
the conventional definition of a park. Anyone looking for a different kind of outdoors experience, though, will find it in the Joshua trees that give the park its name. There's something haunting yet beautiful about the park's desert landscape, which is populated by eye-catching rock formations and, of course, the unusual plant life. For campers, backpackers, and anyone who owns an RV or van, you couldn't ask for a more otherworldly spot to escape to. Number 4. Petrified Forest National Park, Arizona.
Wow, look at that rock, man. This is the thing about nature. I don't see enough of it. You know, I live in a city and I'd love to get out there and see more of this type of stuff. It's just so cool. Like, what causes this to happen? These different shades of rock all within this one object.
We're not sure why Petrified Forest doesn't get more love. Maybe it's because no Arizona landmark can really compete with the gravitas of the Grand Canyon. Maybe it's because petrified isn't the most attractive word. This national park proves, however, that beauty can flourish in the most unlikely places. While the park is painted with multicolored mountains, it's the petrified wood that distinguishes the area above all else. The region is rich with these unbelievable fossils, which encompass all the colors for a radiant sunset. Don't take any home with you, though, because you'd be robbing the park of its defining feature. Just appreciate the park's geology as you
So you're not allowed to take tiny little pieces of it home? Aww.
hike, cycle, or horseback ride through this bleak yet splendorous wildness. Number 3. Bear Butte, South Dakota. Just as Arizona is synonymous with the Grand Canyon, South Dakota will always be best
Dakota.
known for Mount Rushmore. Heck, it's called the Mount Rushmore State. South Dakota has another geological landmark, though, that's every bit as majestic, if not more so. In any case, Bear Butte is easily South Dakota's most striking natural wonder.
Wow.
Explorers are immediately drawn to Bear Mountain, which formed over millions of years in the Black Hills. Buffalo can be found wandering below, while religious offerings are left at the summit. A special place for various indigenous people, visitors are asked not to interfere with religious offerings. Bear Butte has a way of
It's kind of like a cross between a hill and a mountain, you know? Really, really unique looking.
bringing out any traveler's spiritual side, giving a chance to commune with nature. Number 2. White Sands National Park, New Mexico. For underrated desert locals, you can't go wrong with Great Sand Dunes National Park in Colorado or Death Valley on the California-Nevada border. However, there isn't another U.S. park quite like White Sands.
Wow, look
Before
at
it was
all that
populated by white
sand.
sand dunes, the land was once dominated by grass, bodies of water, and creatures from the Ice Age. The area changed with the climate, amounting to a vast wilderness of white sand made from gypsum crystals. The park is at its most captivating when the sun begins to set, dipping the sand in pink and blue hues. Aesthetically, White Sands is reminiscent of the desert, the beach, and a winter wonderland.
Yeah, literally, it's like a 3-for-1. It's a fantastic looking place. You know, you've got like mountains in the background, or would these be classified as mountains? And then you've got literally the whitest sand I've ever seen in my life, and then you've got this stormy cloud, you know, formation overhead.
A destination this distinctive deserves more of a following. Number 1. Devil's Tower, Wyoming. Devil's Tower is such a powerful, imposing, and unique landmark that we can't imagine why it hasn't quite achieved iconic status, especially given the monument's presence in Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Granted, roughly 400,000 people drop by yearly, but that's only a fraction of the annual visitors that the Grand...
It kind of reminds me of, the Eye of Sauron in Lord of the Rings. Like above it, I'm expecting like a massive eye to start. Do you get what I mean? It does kind of look like the structure that the Eye of Sauron is on.
Canyon or Rocky Mountain attract. Then again, we suppose Devil's Tower is an intimidating sight, and not merely due to its name. Only 1% of its annual visitors are willing to accept the climbing challenge. With an elevation of 5,112 feet, not everyone has what it takes to conquer this mighty butte. However, that doesn't mean visitors can't still enjoy the hiking trails and the magnificent backdrop for photos. Do you agree with our picks?
Very cool. Very, very good list. I wouldn't say that they would stop me from going to the well-known, tourist destinations in America, such as the, Universals. I've been to Disney World, but Universal, Hollywood, stuff like that. But if they were along the way, I would definitely stop at them, especially the last one and the one with the sand dunes. Really, really cool places where you can take a lot of cool photos and just soak in almost like the mysticness of the surroundings. But yeah, this was a fun list. This is my sort of stuff right here. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.